Hello, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Barricades. So wrestling is now social media tour. Pit stop. Whew. It's a lot to say, man. All
We're
right, I'm
taking
joined.
over.
They're taking over. I'm joined by the mad scientist himself, Paul Lauria, my man Skills over there, Joel Maximo, Jose Maximo, and whoever else is going to come on this show.
You know the vibes. You know the vibes. Let's go.
All right, let's start off.
Everybody.
This Friday is Sunset Flip.
That's right.
Yes. Everybody's thoughts into going into this Friday.
History, Papa Dan. Listen to me.
History.
It's
now he's thought that wrestling is now, right?
Yeah, it was the history of the World Championship belt being the first ever champion. Everyone loves to go back and see the first ever world champion. This is what's happening here. And whoever misses out, whoever doesn't go and sees it live is going to miss out on a great opportunity to be able to be part of something very special. This man right here, Paul Lauria, is a madman. I'm telling you. He had this next level shit. And, you know, being there live is nothing like it. So, yeah, every time I hear about the show on Friday, it's history. That's what goes through my mind.
History. Now I'm going to bring something up real quick. Ready?
Ready.
Oh, there they are. All the competitors.
That's crazy, bro.
That is some all-star lineup competing
top tier dudes
to be the first.
And that is the whole design of that, Papa. It's multiple generations of wrestlers. You have veterans and you have young guys. You have high flyers, you have technicians, you have strong style, you have classic style. You have every variation of wrestling and wrestler from basically over the last 25 years. You have guys that are new, guys that are old. And you have to prove yourself amongst the best. It's not one-on-one here. It's 10 guys have to compete to find out who truly is the best. And tell me this, Poppy, you've been to a million indie shows in your life and other wrestling shows. Have you ever seen that kind of competition to determine a champion?
Hell effing no. But before we continue, I'm gonna drop something in the corner up by Skills over there. It is the QR code to get your tickets. For Sunset Flip.
It's over there. It's over there.
Skills is our QR guy. That's pretty awesome. He's like, wait, that way.
Right there.
Get your tickets now.
Get your
QR
tickets
guy.
now.
Skills the QR guy.
Now I heard Skills has got some gold on him right now.
He does.
Skills always has gold.
Woo!
There it is.
Yeah, baby. Look at that.
That's a pretty title. Joel, I might go for a little while, see what I can do.
That is beautiful.
My fault is kind of like blacking out.
Oh, look at that.
Skills, you better not be defending that thing around your neighborhood.
Skills,
I sleep with it, yo. It's going to be gone. Yo, I'm going to be so sad. It's gone Friday. I will never see her again.
I could have swore Skills said Fatal Elimination, the top 11 competitors in wrestling is now.
Right, gonna come out.
Yo,
Metal
Geek wants to see it.
We showed it.
That Geek?
That's Geek, that's right.
Put it towards your camera, Skills. Push it forward.
You know what it is? That I have the black screen, so it's probably gonna...
It's clear.
See, nah, it doesn't.
Woo.
Yeah, see it?
Now it's not clear.
It's magical.
Exactly.
It's magical.
There you go.
Just like my living room.
It's been a long road, man, and we're days away from somebody becoming the first ever wrestling is now heavyweight champion.
We days away.
I know.
Ass kicking.
I know some people were disappointed. It should have been defended a little sooner. Some people were disappointed.
Yeah.
But we're gonna make up for it this Friday, right?
Yes, sir.
A lot of matches coming up. You guys want to talk about some of them?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Do you know any of them, or you want us to rattle some off?
I mean, I know the Desmond Cole match because I talked to him about it versus Adrian Santos. He was looking hyped up for that, and he wants to wrestle Alec Price in a future match.
Interesting. Alec Price is making his debut and one of the hottest talents on the indie scene. And if you notice, Win is becoming a destination promotion where a lot of this talent wants to be. Absolutely. We're getting contacts from everybody. They want to come in. They want to perform because it's going to be a culmination of some of the best talent around. So listen, down the road, Desmond Cole, Alec Price. I mean, it's got money written all over it. I'm not.
Oh, we got some music playing over there somewhere.
That's my neighbor. Don't worry about it.
Your neighbor.
You guys are kind of quiet, man. Last time you guys were kind of loud and boisterous and all pumped up for win.
We listening. We pumped up.
I'm ready to explode. I'm just trying to give everybody opportunity before I take over the whole show.
I think Jose, last time, Jose, you took over the whole show. I didn't ask you one question.
I'm like, all right, conscious. Paul's gonna talk. Skills is gonna talk. Joel's gotta talk, and then I'm gonna go off.
Geek wants Alec Price versus Conway.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Well, that's pretty simple. I think most people want to punch Joey Conway square in the face. That's an easy one. So, but listen, 9 guys have that opportunity on Friday, and we're going to see how that goes.
With all the different characters, it's crazy.
All right,
crazy.
are we gonna beat around this or what? Are we gonna show the fact that we're about to face? Look at that. That's fantastic.
Amazing.
Hey, Papa Dan, who's your pick on that?
Listen, it's a tough one for me because I've gotten close with some of the guys on here, but I'm going to tell you my one pick is Mr. PJ Savage himself.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know what's crazy?
That's my guy.
The Savage.
So it can go anywhere. That's what the problem. The problem can go literally anywhere.
I am going to give myself a heart attack.
One of those guys,
Serena.
Hi, Serena.
one of those guys is main event caliber. So it's really hard for me to pick. It's crazy because I definitely like Savage. I like Conway. I like Hamlet. I love Papa Don because he's a vet, and Chris Cage, bro. People are sleeping on Chris Cage, and they don't. He's also a veteran. He's also been in there with the best of the best and beating the best of the best. And then you have guys like freaking Young Glory. You know what I mean? Like the Brando Lee kid could come out of nowhere and do something special. The kid is on fire right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point. You know, wrestling is a brand new company in 2023. This is a new generation of wrestling. We hear the debate all the time. We've heard it for 20 years about S.A.T, how they are changing the face of wrestling. We've heard about the Young Bucks, how they've destroyed wrestling. This is a new generation. I don't see any reason why a young, up-and-coming, current star doesn't represent this company the way that wrestling is perceived today.
Yeah.
You know, and don't get me wrong, I'm the old guy in the room, man. I love nothing more than a Dickie Rods or a Papa Don that have been around for 25 years, but that is just not the way wrestling works these days.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I don't know whether you take a Sal Savelli or a Brando Lee or an Ellis Taylor, or you have a Dickie Rods, a PJ Savage. Listen, I've gone on record a million times to say PJ Savage to me is my absolute favorite indie wrestler today. He's the most believable wrestler out there. That guy talks me into going to see him in other companies, and I'm not supposed to be going to other companies. He's so good at what he does. And I would be proud to have that guy walking around. But I'm not one of those guys in that match. And that's the beauty of this thing, man. These guys are going to put it all out there, and we're going to find out who truly the best really is.
Holy shit. This is kid.
That's Friday, son. That's Friday. It's right there.
The Mecca's going to be off the hook on Friday.
Yeah, we made that
Yeah.
famous. We made that building famous.
Let me tell you something. Expect to see something special. This 6-man coming up with us in the back seats is going to be next level shit. Like Paul just said earlier, I'm telling you, Paul, right now, it's just like back in the days, the shit we got planned. If we could pull these things off, it's going to be fantastic.
Man.
And Papa, we've discussed this on a few other podcasts. I don't know if you ever realized this, but this is this
tried,
match.
I'm a busy guy, Paul.
Say that again.
I try, but I'm a busy guy. It's hard for me to watch other stuff.
Yeah, well, this match, as simple as it looks on paper, and as nostalgic as it might be, Johnny Cashmere, S.A.T, backseats,
Right.
S.A.T, Ring of Honor, CZW. There's history all over it, but there's a whole new element to this thing. Will Maximo has never been in the ring with Johnny Cashmere, and Tommy and JP, the Graysons, have never been in the ring with the S.A.T. So as nostalgic And as amazing as this match is historically, it is a brand new first time ever match at the same exact time.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what's crazy.
That's history right there for me.
Yeah.
Not to mention the
In the
new
making.
guys they've gone on record to say that it's their time. And they're not, no pun intended, they're not taking a back seat to S.A.T. They want
I love it. I love it. I love it. You know
They're
why?
traveling everywhere. They're killing it in Independence. They're doing stuff. I'm watching them closely. When I like guys, and if Johnny Cashmere picked those guys out, it's for a reason. He sees something special. Because Cashmere is one of those wrestlers that I trust when it comes to professional wrestling, knowing what he's looking at, knowing who he's looking at. And those kids, they're hungry, they're young, they're strong, and they're fast.
But come on, let's get real. Let's get real. We Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson punch out. Like to get in the ring with us after. We call ourselves the fathers of the style is because we know what we've done in pro wrestling. We know that 100 years from now, Spanish Fly is going to still be in the wrestling business. That's a fact, and we created that. So we to me in my head, we're the Bruce Lee of this generation. So when they're talking about Paul, they're talking about we're gonna take a back seat. Nah, boy, you better gas up. You better gas up. You know, it's been happening all over the Indies, Papa Dank. We go in there with the best of the best. We have wrestled Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne, beat them. We have wrestled Marcus Mathers and his whole team, beat them all too. And even Alec Price got a little bit of the S.A.T and GCW. So we you know, at first we were like, yo, we're gonna come in and we're gonna take it slow and we're gonna do this and that. But the talent that's out there right now made us push ourselves even harder, you know, to becoming something else, huh?
There's no such thing. It's not in our DNA, bro.
We're Super Saiyan right now. We Goku.
I know
at all.
I know someone who wants to wrestle you guys.
Who?
Someone's gonna get hit with a Spanish
Desmond
bomb.
Cole and his group above the rest.
Yeah.
Spanish bomb?
Yeah, they're ready.
Spanish bomb. Yeah,
We
man.
might-
S.A.T in the front seat.
There's a few teams out. There's a few
Always.
teams out there that I really want to wrestle. Above the rest is one. What are they called? Prolific. That's another team that I want to wrestle. Who else is out there that we haven't wrestled?
Have you guys wrestled the slime balls yet?
Yeah, we
FTR
wrestled
got
some balls.
come wrestle.
Who?
FTR got scared.
FTR got scared.
FTR 1000% got scared. Yeah, that's what
You know,
Look at this
Papa, one of the things you got to realize is that, you know, as being the booker of the company, I have to set a lot of these interviews up, and I got to set the guys in motion and do the social media tour. And I listen to all these guys, and I can challenge any one of you to go find me a podcast where any member of the Win Talent, when asked who would they like to wrestle on the roster,
We may have a problem, guys.
Say that again.
We may have a problem. Look who's in the chat.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
Once upon a time, there was a giant named Paul who was the ruler of a mighty village. One day, a group of demons set forth to invade his precious land, destroying everything in their path. Not a single soul was spared. Paul believed that he could defeat the demons by himself. But as he battled them, his overconfidence blinded him from seeing the true danger that was lurking. Despite his great strength and power, he could not defeat the demons and ultimately lost the battle. Paul the giant then vanished from the land to never be seen again. Finally, the three demons then focused their attention to the man they were truly after. Paul the giant learned a very valuable lesson that day. No matter how big and strong you feel on the inside, there is always someone bigger and stronger waiting in the shadows. The end of the world is coming. The end.
What the hell is going on, guys?
You know, that's getting ridiculous.
You got to get this guy to stop getting into my feeds, man.
No, in all seriousness, though, like he does not return a single call or a text or anything. I've been dealing with this in every single podcast, every single thing. It's
report him. Like how How did he do that with us? Like, I don't get it.
If he's listening or watching this, again, I'm going to say this the way I said it to Matt Rivera. I said it to everybody else. This is not your typical indie company. All right. I've made a career out of defying the odds, doing what I was told I cannot do. I'm with S.A.T. who made a career out of doing this, and they're still in the ring. So listen up, Buttercup. Ian, if you want to come down to the show, it's June 16th, Richmond Park, New Jersey. Come on down. Stop playing your little internet games with the keyboard tough guy attitude. Come on down, and we'll get you guys in a match. Instead of hijacking every single show, and you sound like a little baby who's basically just whining and bitching and moaning like a little child because he's not getting his way and he doesn't have a match here or there. You guys got beat on March 31st at the big fight. You got left for dead by the Slime Balls. Regroup, get yourself together, and try to start from the bottom and work your way up. Don't try to hijack our shows and come out here whining and crying about how you don't have a show with your little campfire stories.
Yeah. They mentioned your name. They said Paul.
Yeah, it seems like they're focused on you, Paul.
Yeah. That was weird.
Shocking.
Was weird.
Somebody doesn't like me because of the way I'm booking a show. I'm associated with S.A.T. doing wrestling is now. Yeah, it's safe to say we ruffled a few feathers.
Yeah. Wow.
I kind of don't come on the show, so if you're listening, don't come, you creepy ass. That shit is crazy.
Yeah, I can say that because I'm not wrestling, so I just said all that stuff.
Holy shit. What is happening?
I think he's coming on my podcast soon. We'll see. So.
Yeah, we won't do that scripted shit. We'll jump in and tell him in his face if he has a problem with the booking and he has a problem with the S.A.T. Then we could that's easy. A nice call wherever you want to meet, and we go. I get in trouble a lot for showing up.
I'm with you. Just call me. I'm there.
We got another guy in the chat who's got a problem with you, Paul.
Shocking. Who's that?
Franklin.
Oh, no.
Hot commodity.
Oh, no, Paul. No. Don't fall into the pit. No. You know what?
You want to know a shoot? I'm going to give you a shoot. Here's a shoot. Robert Franklin was literally, and I shit you not, he was in my wedding party. We have 30 years of history. He was taken under our wing in the HWA, brought in, he has done everything. He used to drive us places. He was a ring announcer. He was a newsletter writer. He was a referee. He's done it all. I was there the night he broke his neck in the ring. I was there in his first match ever. I was his opponent in his first match ever. He had his time in wrestling. I asked him, out of a courtesy and a respect because of his legacy and his ability for the last 30 years and what he contributed to wrestling, I felt he would be a good fit. He came into the company with open arms and immediately went in another direction. And I can respect the fact that he wants to do business. There's no question that the hot commodity Robert Franklin is a businessman. But again, I say the same thing I'm saying about the end. The Gordons were in that match against the Slime Balls and against the end. The Slime Balls won the match. So if you guys didn't win the match and now you're aligned with hot commodity, you had your open challenge. We granted you that. The Slime Balls answered it. You have your opportunity. Stop talking and start doing. I believe half of what I hear and all of what I see. Let me see what you can do in the ring. That's all I got to say about hot commodity.
Okay, love that motherfucker.
All Lauria's on fire.
And Paul doesn't
everybody.
Paul does not have issues with.
Who else has got something to say today?
Somebody said
Facts.
Oh, God. Paul, the line's going to be long.
Yes, it is. It is. At least right now they're in our company because I'm waiting for the other guys from the other companies to start taking shots.
Of course. That's going to happen. That's eventually.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Can you see me like this better? Is this better?
Yeah, much better. You're good.
Let me get something.
But, Papa, speaking of that, we were talking about matches before. Hot Commodity Inc., the Gordon brothers under Robert Franklin against the Slime Balls that have answered an open challenge. This is a big shot for the Slime Balls. They got a chance to really elevate themselves going forward if they could take the Gordons out of this match. Or is Hot Commodity as hot as they say they are? And we're going to find that out tonight.
Yeah. You know what? I love it. I love seeing this. I love seeing the Gordons. I love seeing Hot Commodity. I love seeing the Slime Balls go at it. Because as a tag team ourselves, we have to see the landscape no matter where it lies, no matter where it is, no matter how much experience or where they've been. It's always somebody coming up behind you and at your heels. We've had it our whole career because we've done it to people our whole careers. Coming up, we were after the Briscoes. We were after the Backseat Boys. We were after teams like the Hit Squad. We were after everyone that was ahead of us or above us or holding titles that we wanted. And I know that's going to be the same thing in Win. All these teams are going to be in the heels of every major tag team that we have right now. And I believe you me, don't fall asleep. Look what the Slime Balls did. If I had money, I wouldn't bet on the Slime Balls because of the lack of experience against the End or even the Gordons. I thought the End would have taken it. But guess what? Slime Balls came out on top because they're hungry, young, and ready to go. And sometimes, that's more than enough to get the match done and get a win. And they got to win. And stop crying. Stop being bitches. Work.
Facts.
Absolutely. And speaking of those tag teams, though, look at the other match we got: Miracle Generation versus Above the Rest.
Sick.
I mean, that right there is just a banger, worth the price of admission alone.
Sick.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's crazy.
I can't wait. I can't wait to lock it up with Above the Rest. The Miracle ones and us is like water, man. We have chemistry with just a few tag teams in the world, and they're one of them. We have good chemistry with them in the ring. They get it. You know what I mean? A lot of tag teams that so-called good, they don't get it. And we go out there with them, and it shows. You know what I mean? With the Miracle ones are just they're those tag teams that my brother's talking about. They want it all. They want to be the best, and when they get to compete to be the best.
So, guys, what other matches we got going on? We got the big match, of course. We know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got us versus the Backseas, Miracle versus Above the Rest.
Right.
We have a Lucha Spectacular.
The Lucha Spectacular. Okay. That's gonna be amazing.
All right, let's talk about that.
All right. I'm all right. Sorry. See, I'm getting crazy. Shit like this is what tickles my fancy. Like the Libre wrestling is my shit. Like, I don't know about you guys, but when I seen Super Crazy and Tajiri go at it for all feuds, anywhere Tajiri went with Super Crazy, I wanted to watch. It was a must-see for me, in my opinion. Like when Psychosis was there with Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, all these luchadors doing lucha shit. It's always exciting. I don't give a shit how you paint it. It's always exciting when luchadors are wrestling. And these two guys particularly, we know them. They're fantastic. Their talent, there's about to be unmasked. Because guess what? A lot of people don't really know about them, but we knew. Joel knows these guys personally. He's booked them on shows before, and we've been on shows with them before. Yeah. And he trained with them and trained some American style wrestling, but they're fantastic. They're 5-star, must-see attraction. I'm telling you, it's like a circus act. It's crazy.
I can't wait for that match. I can't wait for that match, and I can't wait for that style of that pure lucha style that's gonna come into Win, and for Paul putting this shit together. It's exciting what we're about to do, man. It's exciting.
And it's true because, like, our fans are smart fans. They're genuine wrestling fans. And for me growing up, I remember you guys all know the story of RF video. I mean, we all did it. Back in the day, we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have all the stuff the kids have today. We had to get those videos. But I remember getting my tapes from Japan and watching Jushin Liger versus Owen Hart. I remember watching Art Barr and Guerrero in AAA. And I remember being this young teenager back in the early 90s and the 80s when this stuff was never even heard of, and feeling so special because I was able to find something that no one else was able to see. And then we were all introduced when Rey Mysterio and Psychosis showed up in ECW. And I kind of feel like this is the same type of impact that this generation will have at a Win event. When a younger generation is out coming and they're used to seeing everything that they see, they're not used to seeing something like this. That's why it's considered a spectacular. Listen, we already had Hot Commodity come in. We already had Ian from the End come in. We've got our drama. We've got our stories. This is a clinic. This is something that people are just going to sit back, enjoy the ride. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, one of those bangers, man. I love those. It's like RVD and Jerry Lynn's. Like, those
exactly.
It's going to be crazy.
Right. Awesome. What other matches we look? Oh, sorry.
Well,
my
so win being that this the buzz around the company and this hot topic, it was really difficult coming off of the last show. Like we've had so many discussions and meetings about this because we have so much interest from talent. So when we pick and choose the talent that we finally give the green light to, it's difficult. But one of those guys that we felt was a must-have was the Long Island Landmine, the Threat, Joe Ocasio. And and this guy just looks like $1 million. He's a superstar. But at the same token, you can't deny the I don't even know the word I'm looking for. You can't deny the fandom that follows somebody like Man Bun Jesus. So
Yeah.
Man Bun Jesus is my
together,
guy.
Jesus is
I don't
crazy.
even know where to
Man
go
Bun
with a match
Jesus is
like
my
that.
guy. Man Bun Jesus is my guy.
I
Listen,
love man.
Mamba Jesus is crazy.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him perform at Win, man.
And when he's fifth Chris, woo!
Yeah.
Watch out.
Man, that boy, man, he makes people. He's exciting to watch. He really is. He's a whole. He's
100%.
a whole.
He's a trip.
Show by himself.
Yeah, he's definitely a draw.
Papa Dan, Max, what match am I excited for to take? And I'm not just blowing smoke. I'm literally excited for the whole show as a whole.
Dude, me too, man.
You're gonna get everything. You're gonna get everything you want out of a wrestling show. Like Paul said, you're gonna have your stories. You're gonna have your technical matches. You're gonna have your luchador master. You're gonna have the tag team matches, like the classic tag team matches, historical. I'm telling you now. Sometimes we don't even know we're in that point in history for classic matches or bangers. I feel like we're definitely gonna put one of those clinics on. And one of those classic matches that you're going to go back to 10 years from now and go, wow, that match was fucking awesome. That's the type of matches we're going to put on and win. And that's the type of shows we're going to put on and win. So when someone thinks of win, they're not just thinking of one match. They're going to be like, that was a hell of a show. And I believe that's what we're producing.
From start to finish.
Okay.
Start to finish. Crazy.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. There's people who are going to show up and people who are going to be there. There's managers that Paul is opening up this whole managing thing that I came up with back in the early 2000s, where managers were a thing. Then it just died out. You couldn't see anything else. So that's very exciting. Anymore. Skills, you've been managing us for a while now. Your experience, like what it is. I went with Matt Rivera. I hate Matt Rivera.
No, definitely, it is a crazy experience, and me and Matt got a lot of unfinished business.
That's right.
That we gotta do. But yeah, I'm trying to, as a manager, I'm definitely, different than anything that you ever seen before, So it's like I'm not trying to be the typical manager, and then to show people that you don't have to be a typical manager to be over. You could be yourself, you know what I mean, and believe in yourself, and you could get over. I'm not saying that I'm over, but at the end of the day, like I say, I'm being myself. This is no gimmick. This is no big gimmick.
I think
when you look at it though, and you think about it, like all of us, if we go back to our roots and we talk about why did we fall in love with this when we were kids? If you think about whether it was on the Monday night or whether it was on a Saturday morning and you did your thing, that was the idea. There were so many managers back then. You had Heenan, you had
That's
Fuji.
My favorite right there. Bobby the Brain is my favorite character of all time.
Hart. There were so many managers, and there was so much control over
Elizabeth.
the different these different groups. And when you look at the locker room at Wrestling Is Now, Skills has come in with a legendary tag team in S.A.T. But now you've got Robert Franklin again. You got a guy that's been around for almost 30 years, and now he's done in the ring. But he's gonna take that knowledge. He's gonna take everything that he still has here, and he wants to pass it along. And then you look at a guy like Matt Rivera, who is like, he's the heart. He's right in the middle of this indie scene of 2023. He knows the way around here. He knows how to navigate this business. It is expanding. And like we said, this is the guys we have in the card right now. We're not even talking about the phone calls we're getting about other people wanting to come in and the other talent that wants to be here. So I think you're gonna get a complete package. And I think one of the things you have to look at, especially with our locker room, is we have an amazing blend of experience with youth. And this isn't something where we have coaches in the back. We're not talking about that. We have experience that are performers that are going to be out there in the ring with the youth at the same time. So at any given match, this is what anybody who's ever stepped foot in a ring. I know Papa Dank, I know you've never really trained as a wrestler, but when you come up in this business and you have the opportunities, I remember S.A.T as literally rookies in the HWA. And I remember their faces in this crammed up locker room that we had when Super Crazy and Tajiri walked by. They didn't fanboy over the ECW guys that much. They didn't get crazy over, oh, there's Just Incredible, Balls Mahoney, Axel Rotten, and the list goes on and on. But when Super Crazy and Tajiri showed up, shit got real with these guys. And if you look at that history, that trajectory, they went on to do other things with that relationship that they built, you know? And this is the type of thing that this young talent, a guy like Ellis Taylor, a guy like Sal Savelli, or Brando Lee, you're going to be in the ring with guys like Papa Don, like Dickie Rods, like the S.A.T. That's why I think this new backseats match with S.A.T. is so special, because I understand this is Johnny Cashmere's doing, and he found this team to bestow. But to me, as a fan and also as a booker, it's special to watch what these kids are going to learn in that match. Win or lose doesn't matter to me. Watching these two kids literally go to school. I mean, this is what people pay for when you want it. You dream about being in the ring with the guys that made you fall in love with this business.
It's crazy.
And
it's
these
crazy.
kids are going to step in the ring with S.A.T. on Friday night.
It's crazy that you say that, because the Backstreet Boys made us love independent wrestling. If it wasn't for Johnny and Trent, like, a lot of doors, you know, eventually with our style and our craziness, we probably got in. But they opened so many doors for us, like, and they did it out of respect, out of love for the style that we brought, and then they just brought us in, man. We were going up and down the Northeast, like, with the Backstreet Boys. It was insane. So Johnny, going into the ring with Johnny after so many years, is I know what he could do. He's a dangerous man. And so the thing is, like Paul said, I got my little brother Will. He's never been in the ring with Johnny, and the Graysons had never been in the ring with us. So this match is just so wild. I can't wait, man. We're gonna go all in on Friday with the Backstreets.
Awesome. What talent that hasn't contacted you guys do you want to see compete at Win?
Well, I spoke to a couple of talent that you might see, hopefully, because it's not easy for Paul. Like, people think, oh, a booker's job is horrible.
Paul has it really rough.
Horrible.
Everybody's coming after Paul.
Listen to me. Me and Skips was just talking about, like, sometimes we be talking and be like, I didn't know that was what happening, but we started laughing the other day, right? Skills were like, Paul's job is not easy, son. Like, and then with us, like, hey, Paul, I forgot. I told this guy to come down, or this guy, and he's like, what the fuck, you know? He has like a whole roster. I'm talking about guys who want to come in. Is Jonathan Gresham, Speedball Mike Belly, Jordan Oliver, Nick Wayne,
Ken Thomas.
Yeah, so those guys you have
5150.
5150, Lindsay Dorado and Jay Rios. Who else wants to come in? A lot of talent. I even spoke to Just Incredible. I forgot to tell you. Yeah.
And that's the thing. A lot of it, though, you have to remember, Papa, like, this is some top tier talent. So you can only imagine that Jordan Oliver, for example. I spoke to Jordan Oliver literally 4 days ago.
Look at that.
And it by no means is it a Win issue or Jordan Oliver thing. It's just that when a kid of that caliber, I mean, he's in high demand and he's already booked out so far. So we have to find a time frame that we can connect. It's as simple as that. And it's not always easy. It would be really easy if these guys had no bookings, but that quality, these guys are booked and everybody wants them. So we're in the fight. We're in the game. We're going after them.
Special visitor.
Exactly.
Not easy. Not easy doing what he does. Just hearing him talk about certain things, and when shit doesn't go the way we're planning or whatever, I'm like, what do we do, Paul?
Papa, straight up shoot. Last night I got within 1 hour, I never hung up my phone. It was Papa Don and I had to hang up on him because Skills called me. And Skills and I were on the phone. I had to hang up on him because Joel called me, and Kelvin was on the and Jose was on the line with them, and they had to tell me, "Hey, listen, we got a little bit of a problem. We're going another direction." And within 5 seconds, Joel says, "Now what do we do?" And I'm like, "You might want to give me a few seconds to think about it, and I'll figure it out." But listen, man.
Paul said, please give me to tomorrow.
This is what it is. This is what we do. And I think that's the beauty of me having the experience that I had from so long ago, on a lot of levels. Even me when I broke in this business, what a lot of people don't realize is I think a lot of people think, oh, Paul wrestled in the past, or he, HWA. I got to spend 2 years literally in an ECW locker room. I stood right next to, and that was the one thing I got to give credit towards. I was smart enough to sit by a monitor. I was smart enough to always find Paul Heyman and listen to every single thing that went on. And I was brought up in a way back in the day where, you never left an arena. You never left before a show ended. So I would literally sit and listen to every time somebody came through that curtain, the input that Paul Heyman would give them directly. I would listen in on the conversations, whether it was a Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit, Tommy Dreamer, Sandman. I would listen in to hear, and while I watched the monitor, and I would start to understand some of those things. And that's where some of this comes from. But a lot of the stuff that I also picked up on was that changing on the fly. You have to adapt and overcome. Listen, if I show you guys my notebook and I show you my day one booking of wrestling is now compared to where we are now, it is light years apart. And that all comes from my head. And one day it's amazing. But you have to be able to flow with this thing, and that's what it's amazing.
It's crazy, Paul, because on Friday we crowned our first champ. Who is it?
Yeah.
Then after that, falls after that, all the guys that won it, and then the tag team tournament. Then, oh my God, man.
The tag team tournament. Speaking of the tag team tournament,
yes,
July 29th.
We want to break some news for the tag team tournament.
Breaking news, is that coming? All right,
Papa, take us home.
Play it again, Sam.
It's my entire village burned to the ground. He wore a serpent in his crown. Happily committed murder with a frown. And an army of black hooded fiery skull generals. And a sorcerer that can cast spells that'll change your genitals. Held me in slavery till I turned 18. Killed my slave master 5 years later. Became king. And I've slain dragons in 8 states during famine. Had the seeds of war planted in a dirty tavern. Had the seeds of presidents killed in a burst of anger. And had their parents bleed to death on the floor of a dirty bathroom. I watched the palaces burn. I've seen the ashes of my comrades return to their family in an urn. While a proud child remembers his father that died, the cycle continues with vengeance alive in his mind. War is my destiny. These orders unleashed. War is my destiny. Chaos. War is my destiny. Under a bell raised star. I was an angel before.
Wow.
Yo, they are so good.
I love them.
So that is the second team in? That's the
Number
second
2,
team in?
okay.
The second team in the
That's
Maxwell
good.
Legacy Tag Team Tournament is going to be Seth and Micah Cortez, the Audacity.
Oh
So
man.
so we got the Batsies, the
Just so you guys know, I mean, we have been talking to Audacity about coming on Beyond the Barricade, so we'll definitely.
And
be
listen,
about this.
Papa, you should know this is special for them because these guys were sitting front row as teenagers on a Thursday night in 1998 watching a brand new team called the S.A.T debut in the HWA.
Wow.
And now these guys, 25 years later, are going to wrestle in the Maximo Legacy Tag Team Tournament for the first ever win inaugural Tag Team Champions.
Wow.
They're one of the first tag teams to ever see Spanish Fly when they first started. They tell me that all the time. While they're kicking my ass.
And listen, something to note that's pretty special considering Day of the Fathers of Style today. This is Win. We love tag team wrestling. Not going to forget, we're going to put over our little tag team belt right here.
I was going to ask, let's see the belt. Woo!
Those belts.
But let's make a note of it that, interestingly enough, that there are now 2 teams in this tournament, Tommy and JP Grayson and the Audacity, and both are brother tag teams.
Wow.
Oh shit! I didn't think about it like that. damn, it's special to us. You know what I mean? For also Paul, you know, getting down with the whole tag team thing. Usually, when people die, that's when they start doing tag team tournaments and shit like that. And we've been blessed to, you know, still be here with you guys and our families and everyone else and in the pro wrestling business. So this tag team tournament means a lot to us because it's based on our family. So, man, it's just awesome. Yeah, thank you, Papa.
Awesome.
Thank you. It is really cool.
It's one of those things, Papa, that, you know, I think there's when people watch us in the podcast, or we do our shows with you and we do it with Metal Geek and these other guys,
Right.
it's a different dynamic with us because the owners of the company are active wrestlers, you know, but at the same token, they put me in a place of authority when it comes to booking and talent relations. So it's not put on them when certain things are designed or made, but they are part of the decision-making process. And when guys that are in the business currently and they're wrestling on the shows currently, but we have a team behind the scenes, it's a different approach to a company than probably what any other company out there is used to.
Absolutely.
I agree.
I mean, you kind of need that in this situation.
Well, we needed Paul no matter what, whether we were wrestling or not.
Yeah.
that was the thing that we were always thinking about, and thank God he agreed, because he doesn't have to be doing this and helping the company do what it's doing now, and bringing that mindset, because from day one we were always marks of everything he did in HWA, because
It's true.
I've never seen people who weren't no names so over in a company. It was the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like, not saying that there weren't no names, just I didn't know who they were.
Right.
The first guy I ever heard was Iceberg. Let's go Iceberg. The whole arena screaming, let's go Iceberg. I'm like, who the hell is Iceberg?
Yeah.
It was Paul's wrestler. And did he do independence? Probably, but I don't think many. But he was
he was actually a student of HWA. At that time, that was probably his first match when he wrestled with us.
That's
you know,
insane.
Wow.
And you got all those guys from him to Mega to 120 pounds, Joel and Jose Maximo soaking wet. Like, you got us to the point where we were able to connect to the crowd just because of your storytelling, just because of the way you wrote things, just because you put us in my match with Mega. The whole setup where he threw Red into the barricades, that whole setup was all of us against him type thing. And that got us over. That brought us to a whole new level because of the writing and the bookings that you did. It was great. You put us in there with Super Crazy, which was a crying situation.
Yeah.
Like, this is it. That
also boosted our careers and our view of what we're supposed to do to get into that level. You know, it boosted us in whole. You know, when he put us in the ring with Tajiri and Super Crazy, shit was crazy. Then the following month, he put us in the ring with Christian York and Joey Matthews. It doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. Then they did one of the biggest shows, and he put us in the ring with Roadkill and Danny Doran, and we had like a dope match with them. And I was like, bro, I'm wrestling ECW guys in Long Island in front of a sold out, insane crowd. That is ECW is a crazy crowd, and GCW too, but HWA's crowd. Still nothing like it. It's like a drug chase. Like when people say they do drugs and they always following that chase and they never get it. Right. That's HWA. That's why in a way we wanted to open win, so we could be able to hopefully get a sniff at what Paul was doing over there, because I'm telling you, man, it's incredible the way he structured that shit. Huh?
And all because Paul Lauria believed in these kids from Brooklyn that were chasing a dream. They showed up in Long Island at the doors, sat in the crowd and looked with gazing eyes like, holy shit, this is wrestling. This is wrestling. We fell in love with it to levels where we never knew. We were like, this is professional wrestling. This is insane. And he believed in us. And he threw us out there with the Lions, bro. He did throw us out there with Dorian. I forgot about that. He threw us out there. He was like, go swim. Swim or sink. And that's just style of booking. So anybody who's listening, everybody in the locker room, you want to get over, you want to do your shit, and you want to be on the shows, and you want to do that, he's giving you the platform and opportunity to do what you do. And that's what he did for us. He gave us the platform and the opportunity to take it, the freaking bull by the horns. And thank God he liked us. And we did. And we did a lot of things.
You know,
in some
the
sense,
S.A.T gimmick.
he used to.
That's the HWA gimmick.
Yo, when we
The
used to go
S.A.T
train over
came
there,
from HWA. I don't understand. Realize that shit came from Paul Lauria.
yo, we used to go train.
Breaking the table, the Spanish announce table, go out there with a Spanish table with headset. He even got us the monitor, the old WWF monitor.
Nice.
And we take them to the bottom of the table.
We take them to the bottom of the table.
Yeah.
And then eventually, he actually had the show running on the monitor.
Yeah.
Yo, that's serious.
That's awesome.
Man.
But Paul,
This
always,
is what I'm talking about. This is what we love having him around because his mind is
eyes.
not. Sorry, Paul. It's not normal. So it doesn't think straight. It's doing a whole bunch of things. So you got to kind of catch it because he's spewing knowledge everywhere. You just got to catch it, harness in what he's saying, and try to focus because you might miss it. And that's what Win is about. You might miss it. Miss a show, you might miss that.
Because he's going over. I'll tell you, he'll go off. So what's crazy about this whole thing is that I'm gonna get to with Metal Geek. He said it reminds him of early days in Ring of Honor. But when Paul has an eye for talent, I have an eye for talent. I like an incredible eye for talent. Just little things because we didn't know everything. Mikey Woodback was teaching us how to run the ropes properly. I thought I knew how to run the ropes, but when we used to go to training, Paul used to stand by the curtain over there, and he would watch the crazy nonsense that we used to do. Because every gym we went to, people would be like, "Yo, you guys are careless. You guys don't know what the fuck you're doing." It wasn't that. It was we were trying to burst out in a different way. He'll sit there, and he'll be like, "Do that again." Right in practice, you remember those days, right, Paul? Dead ass serious. When we used to go in there, we used to practice Spanish Fly on his ring and do it over and over and red in the ring, over and over and over and over. It was crazy. But in the early days of Ring of Honor, it was just off HWA when we went to the trip with Rob Feinstein. Right off HWA, we got invited to go to Dusty Rhodes promotion in Tennessee, where we wrestled. I don't know who we wrestled. I think we wrestled a guy from WCW and a young Cody Rhodes, very young
Cody.
Wow.
Yeah. So when we were going on the trip over there, Doug and Rob Feinstein were talking about opening a wrestling company. What do we think about it? And I'll tell you right here, right now, this is all true. We named that bitch. We named Ring of Honor. It came right out of my mouth. Right, Jose?
Facts.
It did.
Really?
The ring split was my brother's idea. He was like, yo, it should be like New Japan. It should be like New Japan and spread them and put the buckles like it. Me, Jose, and the Amazing Red were the guys who told them to open a wrestling company called Ring of Honor. This is legit. This is true. That's why we were on every show. We were there from show number 1 until they switched bookers at the time. And at that time, we were in our peak of like creating crazy shit. And a lot of the guys didn't want to take a lot of stuff, and a lot of the guys started complaining about us because they were scared to take shit.
And not only that, at that time we were at the peak of, we were in TNA, and we started to do a lot of Japan tours. Yeah, and it was really conflicting with the Ring of Honor schedules. They were really iffy about you missing a show or two. And I understand, as a booking standpoint, it's hard to do anything with you if you're never there. You know what I mean? Like. We were never there.
While in Ring of Honor, Papa Dank, I created something called the Scrambles Tag Team Matches.
Yeah.
So they put us in that every show for about 2 years straight. It was tag team versus tag team versus tag team versus tag team. So they liked it so much because the way we were structuring the matches, that it was so exciting that every show they had a Scramble Tag Team match. And we got, what do you say, the curse and the gift and the curse? We got gifted with talent and to be able to carry matches like that, but never to be able to hold titles. We were so over, they said that we didn't need titles, which is kind of bullshit because people don't remember who was over there.
I didn't remember the titles.
Yeah. But that was it. That's my son. Look at my son.
Yo!
Hey!
He's going to wrestle.
All right.
That's the future right there. Yeah, so that's my story. Have great trainers. That's my story, Geek. That we started something from the bottom, which Paul did with HWA. No, because Geek left a message saying that. Yeah, so that's the story there, buddy. We created that bitch, and we about to create something big with Paul Lauria, man. I've been down to work with Paul Lauria. This is crazy.
Geek also says Tony owes you money, royalties.
And Papa, there's something to be taken out of that story when you listen to these guys, because for anybody in our locker room or any locker room, you don't know what that next show is going to bring. You don't know what your performance on any given night is going to do to who's watching and where. And that's why it's so important to go after that. And when they were talking about how I used to sit at the curtain and say, do it again, I was never in a position like the way when I came up in the indies. What would happen was a promoter would come over to me and basically just give me a pile of tickets. Here's 50 tickets, go sell them. And I thought that's what promoting was. And I would go and sell these things to anybody that would ever, listen. I would sell them to everybody because we wanted, I just wanted an opportunity to wrestle. But given the opportunity that I had as Booker over in HWA, I wasn't concerned with pushing ticket sales through the wrestlers as much as I was concerned with finding the wrestlers that just wanted nothing more than to be in there. And I started to realize that that the passion for being in the ring is a really, really powerful thing. And when you find guys like S.A.T and Amazing Red and Quiet Storm and Chris Devine, when you found guys like very young at the time, Christian York, Joey Matthews, and Adam Flash, and you had these different actors, everybody wanted to steal the show. Everybody wanted to outdo. And unlike other indie companies, we never booked a show from the bottom card to our main event. We booked a show where you got an opportunity and it was on you to steal the effing show. And everybody had that approach. And the only other time I ever saw that was in ECW when I was there. And what happened naturally with us was in our promotion, and these guys know that, they had their fair share of chanting S.A.T. They had the fair share of hearing holy shit. But it was the only time in an indie promotion ever that I heard them chant HWA. They chanted for our company. Because as a whole, the entire roster would not let up. They did not give up. And that's the same atmosphere and environment that we all discuss trying to implement into the Win locker room now. But it's a different time and it's a different era. You have to show these guys that that's possible. And sometimes it'll happen one guy at a time. But I truly believe when you look at this locker room and you see the talent that we have, whether it's just the S.A.T, and you have the leaders like Papa Don and Dickie Rods and Robert Franklin, but when you start looking at guys like PJ Savage, this guy is a leader. This guy is a front man. He can be the face of a company. As much as I despise him as an individual, Joey Conway is the face of a company. Chris Cage is incredible as the face of a company. Face is the face of a company. This is why these guys are all put in that position. A guy like Brando Lee is just incredible. Same as Savelli and Ellis Taylor and Hamlet and everybody else. So it really is about that team. And I think if you asked anybody from the last show on March 31st, the one thing they took out of that show was how it felt so different in the locker room. And I think that translated really well in the ring. I think those guys were feeding off of each other and they were trying to outdo each other. And I love that about them. It's not about which one of our guys can sell the most tickets. I'm not putting anybody out there in a main event spot just because they sell tickets. Sell tickets to sell tickets. Sell tickets so your friends and family can come see you wrestle. Sell tickets so they can see all the guys that you share a locker room wrestle. But once those asses are in those seats, now it's on me. It's on us as a team to get these people to want to come back at the next show. And I truly have all the faith in the world in this locker room that when they go out there and do what they do best, that everybody will come back to the next show.
Amen.
No doubt.
100%.
I love it. It's full circle because Skills was the one that introduced me to Face, PJ, Jackal, and Jay Bougie. And when I first got in the ring with them, I'm always like looking at footing. Believe it or not, I'm a master at chain wrestling and footing. Believe it or not, I really am. And I decided not to do it because it's not my style. It's not who Joel Maximo is. Like, to me and my brothers have always been like a circus act. We go in there and we're gonna show. That's right. Us. And but when I'm in training, since I got trained like that by Mikey Whipwreck and that guy over there, they didn't give a shit about none of that. They care about footing, placement. So that stuck with us. So when he told me about them and I was training with them, I just saw so much potential. Everyone was different. All four of them, they're all different in their own ways, and they're all together. They're all called Takeover, right? Skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Takeover.
So when Skills came up to me, he's like, yo, bro, just give them a shot. Boom, and look how far they came. Look, they're like major players in my company now. So in our company, so it's fucking awesome. It's full circle. From HWA, everything branched out in New York City, all the way to 2023, which is what we're about to do. Hey, say what's up. Say S.A.T. Say S.A.T.
HWA. Win came from HWA. Hog came from HWA. All these companies that are stemming, even Myers.
Cap.
Yeah.
Came from HWA. It's crazy how far and how wide it's spread.
And listen, let's give the props where they go, man. Mikey Whipwreck might be the most I'm not gonna say underrated, the most underappreciated trainer for wrestlers in the independent scene today. His kids are evident all over everything you see today. Did he just bail on us? So we took over Papa Danko, man.
Sorry, shit.
The owner. Yo, everybody watching. It's our show now. It's our show now.
We're
host.
We're the tape now.
June 16th.
Yo, Friday, June 16th. Papa Danko already went. He left.
Are we still live?
We are still live.
That barcode is right on his head right there.
That's Ian Oldman. What is he doing to this fucking guy?
I'm that guy that can't do the whole backwards thing.
Yo,
Right there.
where is he? Where is he? I was about to log off. My tablet is dead. It's about to log off.
I know, he totally bailed on us. He gave up on us.
How did the host bail? Yo.
It's okay. We'll take over. It's totally fine. We'll wrap this thing up.
Yo, this Friday. If you haven't bought your tickets, buy your tickets now. If not, there will be tickets at the door. My man over there got the tickets.
Instagram.
Definitely got the tickets.
There. Tickets at the door. Tickets.
See what the tickets looking like?
Eventbrite.com.
Those tickets are fly.
Thank you, abandoned. We took your show.
Even the tickets is fly.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Papa Dank, don't worry about it, man. We just took over your show. It's all good.
Holy shit. My internet went out, so I'd have to just go on my cellular phone.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Papa Dank to Beyond the Barricade. I'm your host, Paul Lauria.
Yeah, welcome, Papa Dank. How are you today?
Papa Dank, you missed the important part, but have a good night.
I don't know what the hell's going on. My internet just went out. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
The end.
We're live. We're still live.
Papa, this is what I told you, man. You got to adapt and overcome. You can't.
They have to.
Adapt and overcome. Listen, it's Joel and Calvin. Joel did it. Joel changed something on the fly, and he took your internet away. He's been doing it with Calvin all week.
That's skills. I'm not that smart. Skills does shit like that.
Let's blame it on the end.
Oh, man.
What
did I miss?
On the internet.
Don't
Forget, scan that QR code. Get your tickets now. June 16th. Wrestling is now. Sunset Flip. Be there or miss out on history. Buy your tickets now. Get them on Eventbrite. Get them on all the links, on all the websites, on all the social media. The tag team tournament is coming soon, July 29th.
July 29th. Tickets will be on sale for that next week.
Right, that's right. So it'll be on sale next week. And let's roll. Let's roll. Wrestling is now. Guys, Paul, Papa Dank, Joel, Skills. I'm ready. I'm hyped. I'm excited.
I'm ready too.
I'm ready to go.
June 16th, everybody better be there because you're going to see history make it.
I'm going to destroy some backseat. Put them in the backseat.
Let's go.
Put them in the backseat.
Show them where they belong.
Backseat. Look at the backseat.
You sit there. Papa Dank, that's how you feel on us. Good night, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you for vlogging.
All right, we're up.
Everybody.
We're done.
Peace.
We are out of here.
Easy on them.